one of the hardest things to do in business is to quit your job, become a serial entrepreneur, become a property investor, or be in a business that's not ever going to take you to the next level, quitting that and going into business that actually will. Because here's what people say. They say, I'm going to start with this, and then once I make enough money, I will be able to change business. And 20 years later, they're in the same business. Isn't that crazy? And this guy has really cracked the code on how to make that happen. And it's not easy. But once you have the blueprint to do that, to go from corporate to having your own destiny, from having a business that's really never going to plateau you and doing actually what's going to work. And when I met him in Australia, it was a remarkable story because most people, 97% of the people don't make it. And he is the 3%. But you know what he said to me? He goes, the 3% can be 100% if they follow very simple rules. So you are in for a treat. Please welcome all the way from Australia, my good friend, JacobRothfield. Give him a big round of applause.
Good afternoon. Hi. Today I'm going to share with you some takeaways that you can use tomorrow to help your journey to get out of a job and get into some investments and maybe even create a business. Who here has a business right now? Fantastic. So my journey has been about taking out of my corporate role, and I was in a whole lot of corporate roles. The corporate world, has anyone walked away from their lunch break and thought, I don't really want to go back? Yeah. That was me several years ago. And today, I stand before you creating a business in something that I'm passionate about. I want to show you the keys to do that. So the first step is you have to be intentional and you have to know what you want. When I was growing up, I knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I went to uni, I got a job, and then my creativity disappeared, but I knew where I wanted to be. So the first thing you've got to do is you've got to create what you want. And as human beings, we don't like to do that. We don't like to put our neck out because people can judge us, because our family can say, oh, I don't know, should you really be doing that? And so it actually takes some courage to put down what you want to create. So first, your first deal, whether it be in real estate or business, you actually have to consider a few things. So when you're doing your research and analysis, for every deal, you need to model it. And you need to go and you've got to find people that have done it. The thing about having people is that some of them will support what you're doing and some of them won't. And it's okay. Even the people that have questions and concerns about your investing journey, they're useful because what they do is they test your hypotheses. So you build a model. You say, how much money I'm going to put into this deal? How much money I'm going to get out in what time frame? And then you use their concerns to say, okay, do I really know what I'm doing? Have I looked at all the risks? So there are people that are negative, which you shouldn't listen to, but there are real concerns. So it's actually a balance to find what happens. And success doesn't happen in a vacuum. You need to go and you've got to find people that are doing what you want to do. You need to talk to them and find out what strategies are working. So if you've done your homework, you're going to be confident in the process that you've come to make a decision. When I was investing in my first piece of real estate in the US, I realized that even though I had this voice in the back of my mind that said, you shouldn't do it, what are you doing, you're crazy. I knew that I'd done all the analysis, I had talked to the right people, I'd considered the risks, and then I knew I was confident in the process, therefore I was confident in the decision. And then the final step is you need to take action. So after you've done all of this, you've got to go, the rubber has to hit the road. And yes, you can be judged for taking action, and that's okay. It's okay to put your neck on the line, because if you've done the right steps, then that's the best you can do. So a few years ago, when I left my job, I actually had a mortgage to pay, and I didn't know how I'd respond. If it was a few years ago, I would have said, I don't know what to do. I would have been concerned. But actually, because I knew what I wanted, leaving my job became an opportunity for me to start building my business. And what I did was I started putting my property on Airbnb, and I started generating extra income. And that income covered the mortgage. But when I left my job, I had no idea if that would work. The final thing I'm going to leave you with is that as an employee, you're measured on your output. But as an entrepreneur, it's all about creating killer teams, teams that will take you to the next level, whether it be getting a coach, whether it be finding other investors, other entrepreneurs that can help you in your journey. That is the absolute key. I couldn't have done what I did and been able to leave my corporate job if I wasn't able to find the right people. Thank you, everyone.